That for the consideration of appointment of the next Governor-General of Canada, the House call on the Prime Minister to re-establish the Advisory Committee on Vice-Regal Appointments that led to the appointment of former Governor-General, the Right Honourable David Johnston.
I'm afraid we don't have unanimous consent.
The debate continues over how Canada should choose its next Governor-General. Julie Payette resigned last week following a scathing review of her behaviour towards Rideau Hall staff members. That heavily redacted report was released yesterday. Many staff members described the work environment, though, as toxic, saying there was yelling, demeaning comments, and public humiliation. Given the controversy and now the job opening, is it time to rethink the role? John Manley is a former Deputy Prime Minister, now a senior business advisor at Bennett Jones. He's with us from Rideau Lakes, Ontario. Hi, Mr. Manley. Good to see you as always.
Thank you, Vashi. Hi.
On that question of, based on everything that's gone on, is it time to rethink the role? What do you think?
I think if you want a parliamentary system with particularly a multi-party one, you're going to need a non-executive head of state. There is one really, really important decision that a Governor-General makes, and that is who can form a government, especially in a situation where the election result is opaque. It doesn't happen that often, but when it does, it's very, very important. So you've got to have an umpire to play baseball. You've got to have a Governor-General or a president or an acting head of state in some fashion if you're going to have a parliamentary multi-party system, I believe.
So the way it works right now, is that satisfactory, or do you think there are alternative ways to go about it?
Well, I think the government would be well advised to pay attention to the appointment process. You know, the Governor-General plays that important role in certain circumstances, also a ceremonial role, also fills a lot of spaces that would otherwise have to be occupied by the head of government. So you need somebody that they don't necessarily need to have had celebrity status in their prior life, but they need to be thoughtful, they need to have gravitas, they need to have broad respect across Canada. And because the day that comes that you need them, then people have to say, well, the Governor-General made the right call. You know, we haven't had a choice of government issue recently in Canada, but back in 2008, Michaëlle Jean was required to make a very tough call on whether or not to allow Stephen Harper to prorogue Parliament, a decision which most constitutional experts said was sound given the precedents. Since that time, the Queen has taken a different approach in a request to call an election by Prime Minister Johnson in the UK. So this is an evolving area, and I think you need somebody that the public says, you know what, that's probably the right decision. I respect it.
So what does that mean for the selection process? There's obviously a debate going on around whether or not, for example, a committee should be used, whether the opposition should be consulted. What do you think?
I think it's a good practice for somebody that has to stand above politics to consult the opposition. That doesn't mean they get a veto, but we already do that with respect to officers of Parliament. You know, people like the Auditor General or the Privacy Commissioner. These people are appointed by the government, but after consultation with the opposition, because at some point a decision is going to have to be made. So Governor-General is not an honorific. Mm-hmm. It is a real job. You know, we have other honorifics. We have the Order of Canada if you want to give somebody an honorific. But you want to give this job to somebody who, when called upon to make a really important, crucial decision, is able to do it in a way that garners national appreciation and support.
What do you think the impact, or what do you think, period, about what's unfolded over the last number of months with the person who occupied that role until just a week ago?
Well, it's very regrettable, and I must say I haven't read the report, and I don't know whether the former Governor-General was given a full hearing in the preparation of the report, but you know, what's done is done. And I think it's a terribly lost opportunity. All of the astronauts, in a sense, worked for me when I was the industry minister. And their ability to communicate, particularly to young people, on things like science, technology, and the value of education was really strong. And in the case of Julie Payette, to young women, she was an example of pursuing a dream. So I think it's very unfortunate, and it's a lost opportunity.
Okay, Mr. Manley, I'll leave it there. I appreciate you making the time for us tonight.
My pleasure, Vashi. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Vashi Capellos, host of Power in Politics. See more of our show by subscribing to the CBC News channel or click the link for another video.